What's up, YouTube? I haven't made a video in the past few months, so I thought at the very least I can make a video about what to pack for furry conventions. Basically, when I was packing for my first furry convention, I wanted to know what I needed, but all the videos that I found didn't really have exactly what I wanted, so I thought I would just make a list, condense all the information, and make my own video. So basically, this is the kind of video I wanted to watch whenever I was planning my first convention trip. So this isn't going to be anything fancy, I'm just going to show and read the list at the same time and explain why you need all this stuff. And before I get started, I just want to be honest with you. I've only been to one furry convention, which was Furrydelphia in 2022, which is just over the line of a medium-sized convention, if I remember correctly. So if you think this list is missing something, like something that would be useful to have at a large convention, both your fellow viewers and I would appreciate if you left a comment explaining what it is and why it would be a good idea to bring it. The list is broken up into different categories to make everything easier to remember, and in no particular order, these categories are clothes, general convention things, electronics, hygiene, food, suit supplies, and miscellaneous. And at the top of the list, I have two reminders. One, to always check the weather, which is important if you're wearing your fursuit outside of the hotel. You really don't want it to get rained on. And if you're traveling a long distance to the convention, you should know the season and climate so you aren't freezing cold because all you have is a t-shirt and shorts because you live in Florida and the convention is in Boston in December. That would be bad. And secondly, to clear storage on your phone or camera or whatever so that you have enough space for all your precious con memories. So for clothes, you're going to want to bring enough shirts to wear a different one every day, or at least that's my recommendation. And I would also recommend bringing an extra shirt just in case someone spills like an entire can of Dr. Pepper on you or whatever. I recommend furry shirts, of course, because you're going to a furry convention. That's the best time to wear a furry shirt, at least in my opinion. But I also like to take a non-furry shirt too, as this says, because why not? I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. On here, I also have nicest shoes, but that was just because I had this weird idea people would see my beat up old dusty shoes and think I live in squalor. But really, you should bring comfortable shoes because you'll be walking around a lot. On here, it says to bring a pair of pants or a pair of shorts for every day. For something like jeans, that might be just too much because you don't need to wash a pair of jeans every day. Basically, you should bring enough so that you have enough and then one extra pair in case there's a second Dr. Pepper spill. You should also bring comfortable socks, at least enough for each day, and at least one extra pair. Again, Dr. Pepper spill. And bring underwear, of course. I put here, you can never have too many because if you drink alcohol and eat junk food for 3 days straight, well, you kind of know what could happen. I put a hat on this list, not necessary for everyone, but I like to have one everywhere I go. Here is one you might not need, a swimsuit and a towel. And that's just in case the hotel has a pool. Maybe it's a fun opportunity to socialize with other furries. I don't know. I was at one convention and I don't think there was a pool. If there was, I wasn't anywhere near it. So I'd say just, look ahead, plan ahead, but not a bad idea to bring a towel. Anyway, for whatever. And on here, I also put down a sweatshirt and long pants. No idea what could go so wrong that you would need them, especially if you're going to a convention in the summertime. But of course, you never know, really. You could get cold. Maybe it would be a good idea to have if your roommates turn the thermostat in your hotel room down too much. I also added rain jacket, which is not terribly important if you're going to be inside the hotel the entire time, so might not need that. And of course, sunglasses, which I take everywhere anyway, but you may deem not necessary. And of course, you will want a suitcase or a duffel bag or something to keep all your clothes in. And I would also recommend a plastic bag to keep your dirty clothes in. Especially helpful if your dirty clothes are dripping wet with Dr. Pepper. General convention items. This stuff is super important, so pay attention. First up, driver's license or some sort of ID. I needed this to pick up my badge, check into the hotel, and if you're driving to the convention, then yeah, you're going to need it. Double and triple check that you have your ID. You'll need a lanyard for your badges. A backpack will be on any what do I need for a furry convention list because it's just so useful. I walked around everywhere with water and protein bars as well as using it for all the swag and other stuff I was buying. Like seriously, I never left my room without the backpack. Cash and emergency cash. Cash is for buying things at the actual convention and emergency cash is for emergencies. I don't have this on there, but if you pay for everything using your phone, it might be a good idea to carry a card as a backup in case your phone goes missing or gets broken. You really don't want to be out of money and out of phone in a strange city. Earplugs. Yes, if the room next door is partying until 4 a.m., you'll want some earplugs so that you can actually get some sleep. Also, if you're at a dance or a rave near the speakers, it's a good idea to protect your hearing. And trust me, you will still be able to hear the music, it just won't cause you to go deaf. Alcohol is on this list, but if you're the type that wants to fight or starts destroying stuff, or both when you get drunk, then maybe don't bring any. You really don't need it to have fun at a convention. And if you are having fun at the convention, getting arrested will definitely put a damper on your good time. A paper copy of the hotel reservation is maybe a good idea. At the very least, it could save you some time if they have some issue finding your reservation at the hotel. Maybe. Pulling out a paper copy of the hotel reservation feels like such a dad thing to do. And I don't really know if this would help at all, so it's kind of your call. And here's one I can tell you actually helped me. A copy of the convention registration receipt with your name on it. I used the confirmation email on my phone to get into the con space when I lost my badge for a few hours, and it worked, and I'm so glad that it did. I did later find my badge. It was okay. Also important, a copy of your COVID-19 vaccination card. Most conventions require proof of vaccination, and likely will for some time, so make sure you have it. Maybe some will accept a negative COVID test, but I'm not sure, so you should check your convention's website. Next, electronics. Obviously, you need your phone and a charger. Maybe even bring a backup charger. The hotel will probably have spares that other people left behind, so not a big deal if you lose a charger or two. I have on here a USB SD card reader because I use that for my camera. Also, bring a camera if you like, but don't forget to bring batteries or the charger for said camera. Most people just use their phone to take pictures. That works. I also brought my laptop, which is probably not needed, but I was using it for journaling, and if you bring a laptop, don't forget the charger. Headphones are a good idea. I have here IEM style because they block out noise and are really small. These are helpful not only for listening to music, tune out for a little bit after being overstimulated the whole day. They also block out noise so they can double as earplugs, kind of. And for any other things you want to bring, don't forget batteries or chargers. Also, I have here a container for all these things. SD cards and batteries are so small that if you have them loose leaf in your suitcase, then you're going to spend a bunch of time looking for them when they inevitably fall out of the inside pocket and go straight to the bottom of the suitcase. So I recommend just a plastic container or whatever kind of container for all the small electronic stuff. Also important, hygiene. You're going to need your toothbrush, your toothpaste, your deodorant, dental floss if you use it, mouthwash if you use it. Some soap might not be a bad idea in case you run out of hotel soap. Other stuff like nail clippers or tweezers. If you're coming by plane, maybe skip the nail clippers because they're not going to let you bring them on there anyway. I bring tweezers because I get splinters all the time. Band-aids are also a good addition, and they take up basically no space when you're packing anyway. I brought a bunch of Ziploc bags to keep my toothbrush and my soap in, and for whatever. Face masks will likely be required at conventions for the foreseeable future, so it's best to have some of those. Bringing medicine is also a good idea. Of course, you need to bring pills if you have a regular medication that you take, but basically, what that also means is stuff like, like acetaminophen or ibuprofen, just stuff in case you get a headache, because there's going to be a lot of noise and a lot of light and everything. You probably don't need your entire medicine cabinet, but something to think about. Extra toilet paper might be a good idea, along with tissues, especially for everybody with allergies. And I have on here a razor for shaving. You might not need one, but I do. And lastly, a bag for this stuff specifically. Keeping all this stuff together has always worked out well for me and helped keep the rest of my suitcase organized. And then I have a section here for food. I don't know why I said 8 meals. That was my calculation at the time. I brought all of my food to the convention because going out to eat is expensive these days. And I would really rather have the money to buy cool stuff at the convention rather than spending $15 at Subway for a sandwich that I won't even enjoy that much and a soda that goes flat 10 minutes after it came out of the fountain. Speaking of, bringing soda might be something that you want to do. High protein snacks are apparently important if you're fursuiting to restore your energy. Not sure entirely, but someone said it in a video and I believe them. Other snacks are good to get your blood sugar up. Having utensils such as plastic cutlery is pretty important if you bring all your food like I did. And very important, get a case of water, like 24 to 30 bottles. Sounds wasteful, but this is the only time I don't use reusable bottles. I had a 24 pack of water bottles, if I remember correctly, and I drank all of it over the course of the convention and the drive home. Water is really, really important when you're fursuiting, and even if you aren't, you just need to stay hydrated anyway. A 24 pack might sound like a lot of water for one person over 3 days, but I drank that much and I was not wearing a full fursuit at any time. Also, water is important if you're drinking alcohol, which will cause the water in your body to leave quickly and efficiently. Napkins are a good idea to bring with your food. I have on here tea and sugar, which maybe not the best idea to bring a bag of sugar with you to the airport or across a border because it looks like many different kinds of drugs. But if you drink coffee or tea, it's up to you if you want to bring it. Maybe just skip the sugar. Fursuit supplies. If you aren't bringing a fursuit, then you don't have to worry about this section. Obviously, you need to pack your fursuit. I just put mine in a big plastic tote container and brought it. A fan is good to dry the inside of your suit when you're done wearing it. A slicker brush or whatever style you prefer to brush your suit with is important as well. And please, brush your fursuit. Another important thing to have is a good thick hanger to hang your suit up with. I'll put up a picture of the hanger that I use. Yeah, that's a serious hanger, and I wouldn't use anything that looks weaker than this hanger right here, but if you're in a pinch, 3 of the plastic hangers will probably work good enough. A fanny pack is a good option for those without a suit handler, because you can keep stuff like water and your phone on you, and it won't get in the way of wings or anything of your suit like a backpack would. Well, hopefully. I have on here a spray bottle and rubbing alcohol, and the idea behind that is to make approximately 50% alcohol, 50% water mix to spray on the inside of your suit when you're done wearing it to disinfect it. I have no idea how well that works, but it probably won't hurt. I guess if you have like airbrushing or something on your suit, you might want to keep that away from that. Maybe it'll ruin it. I don't know. I also have on here nitrile gloves because I wear them under my hand paws to keep the sweat out of them. A sewing kit might be a good idea for quick suit repairs. Suit shoes is pretty specific, and I'm going to have to explain. My suit has use your own shoe style feet paws, and yours probably doesn't, but basically I just wear Crocs in them if I bother putting shoes on at all in the first place. Make sure to bring any suit accessories you might have, like your eyelids or whatever magnet things you have or whatnot. Maybe you have glasses for your fursuit, don't forget those. And this was on a different part of the list also, but it's important to say again, you gotta have your badge and you gotta have a lanyard so people can find who you are on social media, your character name, your pronouns, whatever other info you choose to put on your badge. And lastly, miscellaneous. A journal or a diary is a fun way to remember your convention experience, so might want to bring that. I just used my laptop, but paper, laptop, whatever, doesn't matter. I have car blanket in here, which is just in case my car broke down and I had to sleep in it, or the hotel lost my room somehow and I had to sleep in my car or something. Worst case scenario. Car tools is just things like a jack and a tire iron in case of a flat tire, and stuff like screwdrivers and an adjustable wrench in the rare event that something breaks just enough that it slows my journey down, but not enough that I can't fix it myself, which probably wouldn't happen. And hey, you might not even be driving to the convention, so forget that and remember to have your plane tickets because they're important. Also, I have on here my normal everyday carry stuff, my wallet, my phone, and a little set of pliers, and a utility knife, which is not for self-defense. It's just a little blade. It's like an inch long. It's just for work purposes. I also carry a pen. It's a good idea to bring a pen to a convention if someone, like the hotel room, wants you to sign a piece of paper and you don't want to touch the pen at the front desk that everyone else at the hotel has touched as well. Plastic bags are another clutch item, and they weigh basically nothing and can be compressed to almost take up no space at all. They're just really handy. If you need to carry a few things for a short trip but you don't have enough hands, you can use a plastic bag. If you need to do a quick and dirty waterproofing job, a plastic bag might just work. If you need to pick up a gross thing, a plastic bag can work as a glove. If you need to store dirty clothes, plastic bag, you get it. The only limit is your imagination. Toothpicks may be something you bring. Personally, I hate having things stuck in my teeth. It just drives me crazy. Toothpick, not a bad idea. And lastly, a roll of white tape and a permanent marker. And I have this on here because I was walking around with my GoPro, which is very small and very easy to lose. So I just took the piece of tape, wrote my name on the piece of tape, and stuck it on my GoPro. I didn't end up losing it, but if I did, then it would have been labeled. Would have been way easier to get it back to me. Now that's the end of the list, but I'm sure I'll have more things to add as time goes on. And in fact, while I was making this video, I added several things to this list. And of course, you may think of a few or several things that you need while seeing some things on the list that you won't need at all. So I leave this with you as a starting point, something to build your own packing list off of. My last tip for you is to get a piece of paper and actually write your packing list down. And then while you're packing, physically take the pen and check off everything as you're packing it. And then leave enough room so that when you're packing up to leave from the convention, you can check and make sure you have everything again, so you don't leave anything at your hotel. And you know what? Take a picture of the list on your phone in case you lose the paper. Whatever you have to do to avoid leaving your things at a hotel far away from where you live. Well, that's all. Hopefully, if I missed anything, you can tell me politely in the comments. You'll be helping me out and everybody else who is in the comment section. Thanks for watching.